So that's our case study segment. What I'm going to do now, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker. Before I introduce her, I want to give a shout out to Parman, who just came in. Parman is the gentleman that our recent success story. Parman, technology to you, thank you. Right here. So just so you guys go ahead. And look, when we go into our preview segment, we want you to talk about those wins. How did you go about winning and share opportunities amongst each other? Because one of the central pieces for this program is really this peer-to-peer dynamic and communication. She did such a great job in our first cohort that we invited her back. So, seasoned entrepreneur, former electrical contractor, so she knows the trade, very well regarded and respected in the industry. And it's my pleasure to call her a friend. So let's give a warm round of applause for her, Jack.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see everyone here. Again, my name is Jacqueline Pofrillis, and I am the back office specialist. I recognize a few of you guys here, and so I'm happy to present. I am been in the industry for a while, about 15 years. And I was a programmer for another 15 years. So I've taken some of my experience and boiled them all into business, IT, in the construction industry. So I'm going to go ahead and share some of the back office strategies that I use so that you guys can be able to implement it as well. Let's go to the next slide. All right, let's start off with some back office optimization plan. All right, first you need some organizational goals. Okay. And that's to set up a few quarterly goals that actually matter in your business. Okay. So get your organizational goals specific. Like, what do you want to do? I remember speaking to someone the other day and I said, what's your goal? And they go, I don't know. I'm like, is it to make money? Is it to become rich? Is it to get a really big job? Like, you have to have a goal. So jot down your goal, and then you're going to develop an operational strategy. So in developing your operational strategy, you want to target the areas in your business that will straighten your weak areas. We all know what our weak areas are, right? We're not going to share it with our competitors, right? But we are going to say, well, I'm not really good at the financial piece, or I'm not really good at, document organization. I'm not really good at certain things. And we're going to share those challenges with you so you can kind of get an idea, right? You want to do a business assessment of your organization. What is that? Like, you're going to put down what it is that your areas of expertise in your back office. Most of you guys are working out in the field, but you have a little bit of a problem in the back office because you really don't know. So how are you going to share your information, lead, if you don't know yourself? So you need to know yourself, what's happening, so you could be able to delegate those responsibilities. So you want to, start with get all the invoices out within 7 days. That's really important, right? Because your business needs money. So you got to make sure that on the 1st or on the 15th, you're sending out those invoices, not forgetting about it. And if you know it takes a long time to put a requisition in, let's say, for example, if you're working for a city project, you're talking about 100 pages, if anything, right? So if you know it's going to take you 2 weeks to do, start putting it together beforehand. Start putting it together, right? So you want to get the invoices out. You want to bring in 5 new customers, right? How are you going to do that? You'd have to go out and network. You have to talk to people, because why? People like to do work with people they like. They don't just say, all right, now I'm going to work with someone that I like because I want to trust that they're going to do a good job, right? So you want to go out there and meet them, because you can't meet them in your office. And definitely on the job is possible if you're working with another trade. But most of the time, you're just getting the job done and not really trying to network from there. So do a business assessment. Write down your repeat tasks. Like, if you're doing something that's over and over and over again, you want to do something like a workflow so you can not do that over and over again, right? So you want to turn those repeat tasks, you want to turn them into how-tos. You want to start with, what do you do every week? Like sending invoices, And you want to avoid one person doing everything. Oh, it's my secretary takes care of that. All right, but what happens if something happens to your secretary? Then you're going to be like, oh gosh, I'm stuck. I don't know how to do this. I got to find someone to scramble. And that's the last thing you want to do is scramble. You want to make sure that if you have to go outside the field and there's someone in the office and that person doesn't show up, the work is still going to get done, right? So that's important. Defining your workflow process is kind of new, right? What's a workflow process? Workflow process is when you actually put step by step of something that you want to happen, but you want to automate it, right? So you don't have to do it over and over again. Okay. So it's the flow of operations, and you want to take a deep dive into your office administration and recognize those tasks so you can streamline your processes, especially with AI now, right? We can use so many tools and AI that's going to grab leads, make sure that, okay, this is my ideal client. Go out there, find it, bring it back. Now what do? Have them fill out a form, offer something. These are the processes that you're going to create with your workflow, right? You want to streamline things so it's not too hard. You want to work smarter, not harder. And I know you guys have heard that before. Give someone ownership of each step. Don't let stuff fall through the cracks. Assign roles clearly. Who follows up on what? Who does what work? Who checks it? It's done, right? And did you do that? No. Well, why not? I forgot. I wrote it on a paper and then I turned the page and I forgot all about it. You don't want that. And I'm going to tell you of a program that you can actually use so that doesn't happen to you. Okay? Employee recruitment is very hard to hire employees because as soon as you train them, and what happens when you train them? They go. They say, all right, I'm going to get more money somewhere else. Bye. Right? That's what they do. They get the information from you and or they just graduated out of college and they say, I want $100,000. And you're like, what? $100,000? Crazy. But it's the truth, right? So we'll talk about employment, recruitment, and training so that you don't waste time, right? If you will. So you want to figure out your ideal employee, and what they look like before you hire, not just the skills, but the mindset. Okay. You want to write it down, and you need someone detail oriented, comfortable with tech, and okay with wearing a few hats, right? And you want to implement a training program by recording short videos and creating checklists. And then you want to run shadowing sessions so new team members don't feel lost. And there's some great software that we could use for that. Time blocking, that's important because people will call you and ask you your advice all day long and you're not getting the work done. You're like, okay, let's maybe not take that call right now while I'm in the flow of things, but maybe I can tell this person I'll call them later, right? Because we can get on the phone and next thing you know, it's like, oh, I spent an hour talking to this person when I could have just been talking to somebody who could make me money or something, right? So you want to use a shared task list to stay on track. Keep a running to-do list electronically, not the old-fashioned way as in before. And you want to prioritize what matters and you want to check it off together, right? All right, here's the 8-step process for an effective back office. If you don't know what it looks like, this is what it looks like. First thing is business development, right? We all have to develop business. Identify your ideal customer, build a client profile, keep a running pipeline of leads and referral partners. You could use Pipedrive for that. That's a pretty good program. You want to develop repeatable outreach and follow-up systems, which you can use this for your workflow so you don't have to actually do it. But if you write it down in your business assessment and say, okay, first I want to do this, next I'm going to do that, and then the third is what I want to do. What can we do to get those customers? And make sure that those are the customers that are our ideal customers, not just random customers like we waste time on. We want to make sure we catch the lead. Okay? You want to build partnerships and you want to, I list the opportunities by stage. So it's inquiry, then the proposal, and the follow-up, and then you close it out. So once you find your ideal customer, this is the process. So we know this is already a process that we would follow. Now you want to build partnership alliances. So building partnerships is hopefully building a partnership with someone that's already at that level that you want to get to. It is hard, but it's not impossible. You go to the networking events, you find out who's the guy in charge or the girl in charge, and you wait to talk to them. And you start talking to them about your business. And it's just like Andrew said here. He said, make sure you have your capability statement. Make sure it looks good. Make sure that you have a brochure, maybe a brochure online, something that's going to capture the attention of that person. Everyone always says when they go and meet a procurement officer, I'm MWBE, I'm MBE, they're like, I already know that. Tell me what you do. You have to say what you do. Hey, I am this, that. I'm a masonry contractor. We've done 15 sidewalks for the city. Oh, we work for the parks department. We work for the, you have to tell them. If you don't tell them, they're like, I heard this 100 times about the WBE, as such. And it's the truth. That's just their attitude. They see so much.
So true.
They don't care. They just want to know, what can you do? Can you tell me what you do? Right now, you.
Scaffolding. I build scaffolding, sidewalk and halls. In addition to that, I prepare very capacity builder for all the contractors. Reporting and income, specific.
Nice. See?
And I just want to echo what Jackie was saying about not leading with your MDE certification. While we know it's important, if we're mindful of the environment that we're operating in, a number of programs for DEI or NWBE are run away. And so when you're marketing to prime contractors, lead with your capacity, lead with your past experience, in order to win for it. And it's some things are very obvious. They look at you, they can tell it.
You can tell.
Yes.
Can I add a little bit to your statement?
Yeah.
Any construction knows when a guy shows up with brand new boots and tools,
Granted.
you're afraid. Means saying we are every contractor brings experience. So you want to bring that last. Let our skills show first. Then you bring brand new boots and tools.
That's right. White.
It's important to have confidence for sure. Yes. All right. Cost planning and estimating. So you want to create templates for your estimates, for your quotes, and for your proposals. So you're not redoing it over and over again. I would say in your computer system, create a file folder called templates. And in there, you're going to have all of your templates so that when your employees, when you're out there and you're saying, all right, I need you to create me a template for a change order. I need you to create I need you to create an RFI. I need you to create, this, that, and the other. They have it because it's in your file that says templates. Okay. So keep that in mind, right? You want to have things available, not in your email. Oh, let me go look at my email. That takes too long. Oh my God. That takes like an hour before you can find something in your email. But you're going to put it on your computer, the server. You want to track the cost per project or client. That is called job costing. He did mention that before. So in job costing, what it does is it'll allow you to take your estimate, put it in the system, and then when you actually calculate the actual cost and you assign it to the job, it'll tell you, okay, you have an estimate for $500,000, but you actually spent $400,000 for labor and another $50,000 for materials. I'm just making up numbers, right? And then this is what you have left at the end of the day. You're not waiting for the end of the year to give your accountant a box of receipts, all right? And say, here, take care of it. Tell me if I'm profitable. Why? When you could just do it by project. You don't have to wait till the end of the year to do that. And the reason I know that was a rookie mistake I made back in the day. So now I know better. I need to do job costing so I know a history. What's my history? What can my guys do? And what's the history? They could do this job in 5 days. They could do this job in 6 days. Why? Because I have the history. I track the labor. So I know exactly how long it took them to do it. So I know how to kind of put together my estimate now. I'm like, back in the past, I had the same similar job and it took me this amount of time to do it. Maybe I can go higher. Or if someone's asking me to negotiate lower, maybe I could go a little lower to get the job. But at least I know the history. And if I don't know the history and I have an Excel spreadsheet, then it doesn't tell me nothing. Why? I'm an owner. I want to know. I want to know the number so that I can go ahead and estimate the job right. Maybe I made a mistake once, but never twice. You never twice.
Can I ask a quick question? How many of you in the room have some type of matrix for tracking your past work history, costs, and performance?
So there's an opportunity here to build in some of the strategies that we're hearing, right? And so I think you have an opportunity to get those templates that Jackie's talking about. And for those of you who don't have system in place, this is the opportunity to implement going forward.